Welcome back. With the weather turning cozy, that's our kind way of talking about the Pacific Northwest. And the kids in school, all sorts of activities, getting dinner ready can be super stressful.
So what is this thing we keep hearing about, the Instapot?
This is my skeptical face. We were really curious. How are they even different from slow cookers? Are they worth it? So we brought in lifestyle and entertaining expert Alexandra Hedin with Weeknight Society. We're peppering you with questions.
Love it. Bring it on.
You have promised us a dish that allegedly we can make in 4 minutes. Now, this is not me distrusting you. You, I trust.
Yeah.
I'm super curious.
Okay.
What's an Instapot to even begin with?
The Instapot is basically a pressure cooker. They've taken away some of the scary parts of a pressure cooker, so I have an old school one here. Yeah. So the old school pressure cooker, you put on the stove, you brought it up to temperature, you watched the pressure on the little gauge, and then you had to release the pressure manually. It is scary, and there was actual fear that these could explode.
That is
and I'm sure they did.
Lab there.
Right? Freaky. So they've taken all the technology of making food really fast in the pressure cooker, and they've made it safe. So there's 11 different safety valves in this. So it's a pressure cooker, but then they've also added, thanks to technology, things like there's a slow cooker feature, there's a rice cooker feature, there's a steam your vegetables feature. So it's kind of an all-in-one. You don't have to have a slow cooker and a rice cooker and something else. You can just do it all with this.
That I like.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
There are a lot of pros.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Which leads us
I was gonna say, so that means there must be some cons.
So when you were talking about the slow cooker and not wanting to cook all the things first, that is something you have to do with this. So our 4-minute noodles, they do actually, so here's like a finished
looks good.
dish,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Red sauce noodles. But if you want to have meat in that, you cook the meat first in the Instapot. There's a saute function. You cook the meat and onions first, and then you add the noodles and sauce, and you set it and forget it. But when you set it, it takes 3 minutes. So that part's pretty cool. And then you just release the pressure, which I did in studio here earlier, and I freaked out.
I was
Is that what that noise was?
Yes. You tip the valve and like the steam releases, and it is a loud noise. And the first time you do it, it's a little bit terrifying. So it is kind of cool because there are things that you can do. Like, yes, you brown the meat first, but then you walk away. And like the Kahlua pork I made last night, this is a Instapot favorite. So I have tons of people I know who love the Instapot and swear by it. When I interviewed each one of them, this was the recipe that came back.
All right.
You have to make the Kahlua pork. So you do brown the meat first, but then you put it in here with just Hawaiian salt and a little bit of Worcestershire, and then that's it. I mean, it's 2 hours later, but it's done, and I didn't do anything else. So that was pretty cool. I took my kids out to a Halloween party. We went and had dinner. We came home, and then this was finished. So.
And you said you can actually brown stuff in the same pot.
You can. So there's a saute feature
slow cooker
that you turn on first. Then the little display here will say hot. You put the meat or onions or whatever you need to brown first in here. It gets up very hot very quickly, and you can brown the meat, do the onions, and then add the rest of the sauces, shut it, and it's good to go.
So I know there are a ton of people out there going like, yeah, of course, I love this thing, it's amazing.
Yes.
What are some tips for those folks who, or maybe are gonna use it, and other things that people could make in this?
Yeah, well, it was the #1 seller on Amazon in 2016 for Prime Day. So clearly most of you own one of these. I got mine at JCPenney, so they're almost everywhere. They're super affordable, and lots of people do have them. So the tips that I learned is to count the cooking time as like half of what actual cooking time is, because you do have to bring it up to pressure. So the 4-minute noodles, they take about 4 minutes to come up to pressure, and then once they're pressurized, they cook in 3 to 4 minutes, and then you release the steam for another 3 to 4 minutes. So you're all told talking about 15 to 20 minutes of time, but it's still pretty great, right? I mean, I do have a full career that I've built around 20-minute meals that you can make without a machine. So part of me feels a little bit like, yeah, but I can also do that on the stove.
Yeah, much more stylish and lovely than this pot is.
But there is always a time and a place for having something that you can turn on, cook, and walk away from. So,
so with soups and stews, like which we do in the slow cooker, is that also something you can do this way? It's just faster?
Yes, much.
Okay.
So soups, stews, beans, things like that, those are awesome for this pot. And especially the feature that I'll be using on Saturday at the Husky game is that you can make it in here, take it with you, and then when you crack the lid, it's still steamy hot.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
nice.
I think that's really cool too, which a slow cooker takes so much longer to cook and is harder to transport because it doesn't have the locking lid always. That's an added feature on most slow cookers.
So really quickly, what is the 4-minute noodle? What do you put in? What's the recipe?
So the recipe of the 4-minute noodle was browning the onions first, sauce and noodles together, lock it down, bring it to pressure.
And that's it.
That's it. I made an egg dish for us for breakfast this morning.
Yum.
So this is ham, cheese, eggs, and a little milk.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and you just throw it in here. And there you go.
Looks really good.
Yeah. And this, so I did this in studio while you guys were doing the news.
You were cooking while we were working.
I was cooking. It didn't look like I was cooking because I was really just sitting there. This was cooking. This took 7 minutes of actual cooking time. It took about 5 minutes to come up to pressure, and then you heard the steam release.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
It's
was
so
about a
hot.
minute.
Wow.
It's very,
that's
very
really
hot.
good.
It is really, really good. I like the easiness of this. This is the throw it in there, go change the kiddo's diaper. Come
Exactly.
back, and, breakfast is ready.
Exactly. And this, great for tailgates, great for potlucks, great for when you don't have time to think about what you're going to do, but you have other things you're doing. Come back and it's done.
Great stuff.
Fabulous.
And you always have great recipes, weeknightsociety.com and the app too.
And the app, Weeknight Society, weeknightsociety.com, all 20-minute dinner recipes, sans appliances, but maybe I'll be adding more now with appliances.
Thanks for demystifying the Instapot.
Yes,
Hedin.
anytime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.